Thank you for joining us. Our program today is going to focus a little bit more on silence and a slightly longer talk given by Shri Mataji at a Sydney workshop back in 1981. But first, let's collectively bow down in front of Shri Mataji, raise our Kundalini and put ourselves into Bandhan. just have a small silent meditation.
Modi must have told you very clearly about how to grow in Sahaja, because he's one of them who has really taken very positive steps to see that he grows. Now one has to understand one simple point about realization is that just mere awakening of the Kundalini is not sufficient. That's just the beginning. You get your realization, but you must become the tree. You have to grow. You have to become. If you cannot grow, then you have not achieved what you wanted to be. And you grow very fast with meditation and with understanding about meditation. Now, one of the few hurdles that we have, that I have seen it, that are innately built in Sahaja Yoga itself. One of them is that you get it spontaneously so easily that you take it for granted. This is in the pattern of it only innately built. You see, whatever you get so easily, you just take it for granted. But the another side of it is like that when you have your eyes, you don't know the value of your eyes. You take it for granted. But when you don't have them, then you know the value of eyes. It's like that. So when you lose vibrations, and when you get out of Sahaja Yoga, then you start feeling much more lost. And then you come back to Sahaja Yoga again. Like a person becomes rich, he enjoys the riches, and then you make him poor, then he feels it more. So this is the correcting point. But it is very true that Sahaja Yoga has this thing innately built in itself, that it all happens very spontaneously and you get it for doing nothing at all. So maybe so many of you may lose it because you might find that it is just you've got it because of something. I've also known of people, they get vibrations and they say, now it's all right, I don't need Sahaja Yoga, I'm on my own. Again they are back like bad pennies with some troubles and some problems, and then they go ahead. Now I would say that Modi is one of those first 12 people who got realization. After 2 years I worked on them, while you got realization in such a short time. 2 years I worked on 25 people, out of which 12 got realization. You can imagine, 2 years. As I told you, in London I worked on 6 people for 4 years to give them realization. But once a certain number of people of a particular ideologies of permutations and combinations, once they get realization, I find the rate of realization increases very fast. Like formerly, we never used to have anybody in the program who has been to any other guru. Just avoid them. Even up to the point that this Modi himself used to tell people there's no program today, no program. And they would ring me up and find out that there was program and why they were not allowed. They said, Mother, we get headaches, you see, they break our necks and they just disturb us, they are good for nothing. But now, it's very different. Once we have built up our strength of collectivity, we have so many channels, things are working out very differently. So the value that Modi would attach to his realization is much more than you would attach normally. Because as you see, first even say to have an ordinary oil lamp was a problem. So the oil lamp was very important for people. They would see to it that they would not use out all the oil and they were so careful. But today we have no problem. We have got electricity, we take it for granted. Only when the electricity goes off, we know what is electricity is. In the same way, your realization also, when it is lost, you understand the value of it. But supposing you have just touched it, and then you lose it, then you do not understand. But if you have got it, you have enjoyed it, and then you lose it, then you want it back again. So best thing is to be steadily moving towards your evolution. Now, after I go away, that's the fears people have here, that people start doubting. Said it happened with people. They started doubting. Doubting what? You are doubting yourself, is the main point. You cannot believe that you can get realization. This is the basic. You see, to me, it seems that you feel that how can you get realization? Only those who are very highly realized souls know that you are realized. They know that you have been given realization. But they also sometimes ask me, why did you give them realization? What have they done? Because you also think that, we still have to look forward to something else. How can we get realization? This is the trouble. You don't believe in yourself. That's what. You have to have confidence in yourself. And then you will have confidence in me also. Because there are so many ways by which you can verify. First of all, you can ask questions to the photograph or to me in your heart about myself, my relationship, whatever you think would be, whatever you think, put your imagination and see that what you think I could have been. Ask that question. Your vibrations will answer. Stretch your imagination to the last. What could be the last word you could think of me? You see, some people will put doubts, saying that Kundalini awakening is very difficult, it's not easy. Yes, it's true. It's not easy. It's a very difficult thing for human beings. You just can't do it. It's a fact. You have to work for days with some guru in some jungle, all alone, seeing nobody, working out your chakras by chakras. Sometimes you have to starve, sometimes you have to eat, sometimes you have to breathe, you have to do all kinds of things, and then the guru can work out. But there could be someone who is somehow the master. Could be someone. Kundalini is the Holy Ghost within. So there could be someone like that who can do the job. And that is what it is. These things put you into doubts because you can't believe it. In relation to yourself, you can't believe it. You can believe in God, you can believe in Holy Ghost, you can believe in Christ, but you cannot believe that it has any relationship with you, that you could be that great, that you could get your realization. So just feel it and enjoy it. First of all, don't think. That's why I say don't think. Because as soon as you start thinking, Mr. Thomas in you will get up and say that, hello, this cannot be self-realization. Mr. Thomas was great, you see. Christ had all the disciples, and I find all those types around, permutations and combinations. And some are Judas also, but they are rarely to be found. But there are, no doubt. And some are Thomases. And these Thomases are described as murmuring souls by Christ himself. He said these are murmuring souls, and they murmur. And one murmuring soul comes to you, another murmuring soul in you joins hands, and you start all murmuring together, start thinking. Now at that time, what have we to do on rational grounds? It's very simple. What have I done so far? I've done everything. Did I get cool breeze? Did I get my self-realization? Did I feel my own powers? Have I been able to feel myself and others? Because you are still, you see, not fully realized, you may not be able to feel the vibrations of another person. Neither you will be able to feel your own vibrations. But there are so many people here who are realized and they can feel yours. And they can verify. Supposing they ask you, how is your father? There was one gentleman in England, he came and told me, why everybody is asking me about my father? I said, because there's one particular center that's catching. And I called a child, I said, now tell me, what is the center catching? She pointed out this one. I said, this is the center. Everybody is catching on this center, this is the father center, so they are asking you about your father. He said, yes, he's dead and he died of cancer and he had this and that. We had to treat. For example, anorexia is a disease, can be cured by curing this center. It's such a deep knowledge, and it is such a all-pervading knowledge, because once you know in a tree the sap that goes to all the leaves and all the ends of it, and if you can move with the sap, your attention can move with the sap, you can know the whole of the tree. You cannot know leaves and then know the tree. How many leaves can you count? But to know the tree, the best thing is to get to the sap. To treat a tree is best is to get to its sap, isn't it? In the same way, when you go from inside out, then you find that you know yourself and others very well. It's very simple. Even small children can do it. So the first doubt comes about yourself. Oh, this is one of them. Because there's a guru shopping going on, you see. There's a guru shopping. There's a float. You go to one guru, to another, to ESPs and what you call them, all sorts of things, mediums and all sorts of things, they do with the dead bodies or anything. All these things you have been to and you have found it. So now suddenly you have to come to a temple where you don't pay anything and you just get the blessings. So you can't believe it, you just can't believe it. It's too much to believe. This is what happens. You get confused. You are already confused, but confusion could be over by understanding that something is happening to you. Just wait and see, give it a chance. There's no way we can bind you to Sahaja because there's no mesmerism on it. This is another innately a problem with Sahaja Yoga. Second problem I should say is that you are too free to do what you like. Absolutely free. There's no binding force except that you feel the love of your mother. Supposing you are not feeling the vibrations in your hand, there's no way of binding you down to Sahaja Yoga, nothing. We just advise, go ahead, it will work out, let it work out. There is no fees, there's no registration, there's no compulsion, nothing. It's your own free will. If you want to stick on, you can stick on. If you want to go away, you can go. There's no force on you of any kind. There's no registration of your names with some fees or anything. I mean, you are not bound to pay. If you pay something, then you feel, all right, I've paid for it, so go through it, whatever it is, good or bad. Supposing you go to see a plane, it's a horrid play, but you say, all right, I've paid for it, so let me go through it. But that you cannot do with Sahaja Yoga because you have not paid. There's nobody who will force you down. Nobody will go on telephoning to you. Come along, please come along and all that. So the attitude has to be changed. It is I who has to give. Say there's a beautiful spot somewhere. Now that beautiful spot doesn't send an invitation card to anyone. Everybody goes there. But if you have not yet discovered the beauty of Sahaja Yoga in that way and have not enjoyed it fully, you will have to go again and again and see for yourself. It is a deliberation on your side, not on the side of the Sahajogi or Sahaja Yoga. It's not going to fall at your feet. That please come to Sahaja Yoga, please donate something, nothing of the kind. If you come, you are welcome. If you don't come, welcome. On the contrary, you will be surprised there's more rejection than acceptance in Sahaja Yoga. That's also innately good. I've seen some people who are very insincere types. They just go out of Sahaja Yoga like a tangent. There was a gentleman who was very troublesome to us in Bombay. And we didn't know what to do with him. And he just got transferred from there and we got rid of him. So you just go out of Sahaja Yoga like a tangent. And we are saved from the botheration. Because you must understand, if you have problems, if you are not alright, it's a problem for Sahaja Yogis to correct. It's just the other way around. If you understand this, then you will understand the problem, what works out. For example, if I have to cure somebody, it's a problem for me and not the problem for the person who is sick. Now, if the tree has to go, is the problem for the gardener, not for the tree. So the tree must see to it that it cooperates with the gardener and gets itself developed. If this understanding is developed that it is I who has to gain, it is I who has to go forward, Mother has not to gain for me anything. She wants me to have all my powers manifested. She wants me to grow to it. If this attitude is developed, then you'll work hard to do it, and you'll work it out. But on the contrary, you see, at the slightest pretext, if your ego stands up and says, why should I do this? To overcome this hurdle, you see, we have to build up certain stages. That's what Modi was telling me. That you first become thoughtlessly aware. See that silence is established. There are certain things that you do much later. Everybody is not allowed in there. Because truth can be only borne by people who are strong enough to bear. That's why I'm not going to tell you who am I till you reach a certain stage. Because you cannot bear the light. That's what happened with Christ. They crucified him because they could not bear him. Human beings are like that. They can't even bear an incarnation of love. They can't even bear love. It's too much for them. Even if you give them too much love, they get upset. They get disturbed. They just can't bear it. So you have to build up yourself to come to a certain stage of understanding of Sahaja Yoga. It's a state which you achieve. It's a state. You are not to be certified by anyone other, but it's a state where you will start giving realization to others. And the whole way you will be talking will be in a very different manner, as if you are completely detached. You will say it is going, it is coming. It happens. You will not say my mother must get, my father must get. You will never say that. Because you will understand the problem of Sahaja Yoga is that it cannot give to anyone. Like the sunshine can shine, it is for the trees to expose themselves to the sunshine and get the advantage of it. The sunshine is not going to run after you all over to see that you get it. This is the point. It will shine the whole day and you take it. But it's not that it will run after you all the time, requesting you, oh please get me, have it like that. And this is what one has to understand very clearly, that it is you who has to ask for it, and not anybody is going to force on you anything. On the contrary, if anybody tries to say something more, your ego gets like that. So try to be careful. I am very happy to know that also, that in all the ego-oriented societies, I have seen that Sahaja Yoga works like wonders. Because first thing they see is their colossal ego. And that's a very positive point about it. Because once you start seeing this horrible balloon in you, you just start watching yourself and enjoying, oh, Mr. So-and-so, now get along with your ego. You see, it's a very interesting life you start leading. If your ego, you see, is a very good sign. If you cannot see your ego, then there's danger. But some can even see their superego if they are possessed. See, people see how they get possessed suddenly. Because the frequency of possession becomes very little. So that there's a big gap, you see, to see the time when you are normal. And when you get abnormal also, you can see clearly that you are abnormal. By seeing that, you start judging, oh God, I have again been caught up. I am again lost. And you come back to normal. The whole thing becomes a very beautiful understanding of the reality about yourself, and you laugh at yourself all the time. All the time you laugh at yourself and you laugh at everything and you find the whole joke going round, how people are seriously indulging into nonsensical things and how it's such a big joke you are being yourself, worrying about things which have no meaning, which has no significance. Like I went first to Paris and people told me, Mother, they are not going to like you very much because they believe a person who is so happy is ignorant. You should not be a happy person. You should be a crying baby. So they will believe. They are all les miserables, you see, very unhappy people. extremely unhappy. And if you tell them you are a happy person, so they are going to be shocked at such a thing. I said, really, these Les Miserables, let me invalids, you see, let me do something about them. And I made them laugh so much at their miseries that they got all right. And they understood that the joy is just there. You have to just peep in your heart and you find the source of your joy. And then the whole thing vanishes into thin air. But it has to work. It has to happen. There is no quick way of doing it. In the sense that I say, all right, you give me 5 rupees or $5 Australian dollars and you get it. No, no, no. You may give me any amount. It won't work out. It has not worked out with my own daughters. You'll be surprised. I've never forced them. I've never asked them. I have only 2 daughters. They are not realized. I'm not bothered. When they'll ask for it, they'll get it. But my 4 grandchildren are born realized. And one of the eldest ones one day very seriously said, as it is, you cannot commit mistakes, I know. But it would have been nice if you had given them realization when they were children. You see, this is what it is. That you cannot force these things on anyone. And you have to take a very detached view. You are a seeker. Your mother and you are there. But they are not your responsibility. You can tell them about Sahaja. But if they are opposing you, better let them be alone. They'll come down. When they see the transformation within you, they will definitely come. So leave them alone. Don't bother your heads. Just leave them alone and you will be amazed that they will see you transforming so well and acting so well, and they will change themselves. And they'll come to you and ask you, how are you so much changed and transformed? You see, proof of the pudding is in seeing the pudding up there changing people. And this transformation, you'll be amazed coming into you. So suddenly that you'll be amazed. But as I told you, that on the left side is a desire. Or you can say the superego, the desire to do something. And the right side is the ego, which we try to sort of please and which feels happy. And the one by which we have ambitions. But in the center is the willpower to do things. And this willpower has to be increased by you. I have to do it. I have to do it. First you'll feel tired because your left heart is weak. Then I will tell you how to do it. They know how to raise your left heart if you are tired. See, most of the people these days are very tired people. They talk, they sit down, they can't, they're very tired, absolutely fagged out people. Morning till evening, what have you been doing? Nothing. Just sitting in the sun, you got tired. Just lazing out, you got tired. Why? Why did you get tired? Firstly, because you are not integrated, you are fighting within yourself. Your head is fighting your heart is fighting your liver. Secondly, you are thinking and wasting your energy. So you have to learn how to settle your heart, what has to be done to raise your heart, to make it peaceful, and how to get the energy from your spirit. Once you start doing that, your tired feeling will go away. Then your aggressiveness also will decrease. And you'll be amazed that you will just wash the whole thing. Neither you will aggress nor you will take aggression. And the whole reaction will be very different. Then everything has a meaning. Your feelings have a meaning. Supposing you have a feeling today for Poland, which is in trouble. All of you should ask just now, Mother, solve the problem of Poland because I have no desires. See, I am desireless. You have to ask. And it works. You'll be amazed because your attention is enlightened now. It just works. You have to desire for it and it works. You have to work for it and it works. And so many miraculous things people will tell you. Just believe them. That's all true. Money problem? Solved. Because of Lakshmi Tattva. Financial problem? Solved. Social problem? Solved. Family problem? Solved. Because you are solved. See, in relation to you, everything seems problematic. When your problems are solved, everything is solved. It's so simple as that. We have to solve ourselves, and it is solved through the awakening of the Kundalini.
We'll just digest that amazing talk with silence for about 5-6 minutes. Thank you, Shri Mataji. May I this day be what you'd have me be. May I this day say what you'd have me say. May I this day be part and parcel of the whole, and may my thoughts be of a realized soul. May I this day have love for all mankind. Shri Mother, be in my heart and in my mind. We'll say the last verse of the three great mantras. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Thank you everyone for being part of our program today. The vibrations were really strong and they were just so lovely. When you're ready to finish your meditation, please bow down in front of Shri Mataji, raise your Kundalini and put yourself into Bandhan. Have an absolutely wonderful day ahead. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.